On this edition of Lights, Camera, Culture, we go to the cinema for the screening of the locally produced movie, Corner Store. Joe Doherty shares with us his thoughts on the movie.
I feel great. This has been a long time, dream of mine to bring a film here to the city of Detroit. I left here 22 years ago to go to film school in Los Angeles, and I always wanted to make films about Detroit. No disrespect to South Central LA or any place else, but this is where I'm from, and this is what I want to represent. And thankfully, I was able to get it done. The Corner Store here in Detroit is a very important institution. We don't have a major grocery store chain, so the Corner Store functions as a place where you can cash a check, buy a t-shirt, pay a bill. And films like Clerks and Barbershop and Slacker, I just thought that it'd be a great way to talk about several important issues in the city.
The film features Roger G. Smith, who can be seen in movies such as American Gangster, Do the Right Thing, and Deep Cover. Mr. Smith talked with us about his role in the movie.
I play the proprietor of a corner store and a car wash and several other ventures. My son doesn't want to follow in my footsteps. He has other aspirations, as most sons do. And we have a little conflict, but it's resolved. And I think that this film is really going to put Detroit on the map in terms of independent cinema. It's working in the same tradition as Clerks, Do the Right Thing, memorable films of that nature, Car Wash. There's bits of it in there flowing throughout it, but it's really something of its own, and I think represents the Detroit community to the fullest, and I'm happy to be a part of that community.
Lawrence Lamont plays the proprietor's son, Gerard. Joe selected Lawrence for the pivotal role after seeing him in a 2009 short film.
I played Gerard, the lead character, having a bad day. I'm Gerard.
So how did you feel about being in this movie representing?
Oh, I feel amazing. Since I am born and raised pretty much from Detroit, studied theater here in the city, and just to be in the lead indie film in Detroit was huge for me.
Look at this fool right here.
Lawrence Lamont Jenkins. Wow, well, Lawrence, what an exciting young performer, a Detroit native. He loves Detroit and the state of Michigan, product of Southfield High. Not only is he an actor, but he's also an aspiring, writer, director, and a filmmaker as well. I think Lawrence has a really bright future, and, I hope I can work with him again. And I think he did a great job. It's an ensemble piece, but Lawrence and Fruit, their characters sort of bind everybody together.
The character Derek, played by rapper Forbidden Fruit, was by far one of the funniest characters in the movie. Forbidden Fruit talks about the significance of this film.
It's going to help a lot of people in Detroit. They say nothing comes to Detroit. There's no people that support Detroit. Well, you see that now. This is a big supported film. We need all the support we can because we're giving out jobs, helping others. This is a guy that moved to Cali and came back to reach back to his people. And we need all y'all help and all y'all support. And it's a great film. Comedy, PG, bring the kids, nice thing.
This, for real, dude. Don't start that, I told you. Not today. We're going to be some fighting. Don't start that, I told you today.
I play the character of Big Jim in the movie Corner Store.
And so what are you doing, Big Jim, in the Corner Store?
Oh, clowning very bad. Me and my good friends, Mike Barner, Martini Harris, Shani D, we're the comic relief. Funny.
So how did you get associated with this movie?
I was picked for the movie, contacted by the director, Joe Doherty, auditioned, and got it, and that was it.
So what are your thoughts on the movie and some of the actors?
Oh, it's good. We got Roger Guinevere Smith, Judge Mathis. It's so many people. Lawrence Jenkins. There's so many people in the movie that are good. Trick is good. It's a good Detroit movie showing Detroit in a positive light. So I'm at the red carpet with my wife, Jill Hill, right here. And we about to do this and see what's going on. Hopefully everything will go good.
This movie is a celebration of city and suburbs. I don't want to hear about 8 Mile and East Side and West Side. This city's way too small for that. Let's all come together and let's make the city all it can be because it's a beautiful place.
Man.
Well, sometimes you got to get them quick.
Bunched it out before lunch. Think it's gonna cut together, look good together.
Mr. Doherty, never carry your own chair.
It's good to be the director. What can I say?
Look at this fool right here.
Something is wrong with him.
Loser.
Lawrence Lamont Jenkins. Wow, well, Lawrence, you know, what an exciting young performer, you know, a Detroit native. He loves Detroit and the state of Michigan, product of Southfield High. Not only is he an actor, but he's also an aspiring, you know, writer, director, and a filmmaker as well. I think Lawrence has a really bright future, and, you know, I hope I can work with him again. And I think he did a great job. It's an ensemble piece, but Lawrence and Fruit, their characters sort of bind everybody together.
Listen, for real, dude. Don't start that, I told you. Not today. We're gonna be some fighting. Don't start that, I told you that.
Fruit, double F, Forbidden Fruit. Well, you know, Fruit, you know, he has a background. He's a rapper and a producer. And he came to my audition. You know, he didn't have a headshot. He strutted in with some sunglasses and a head. I ain't got no headshot. And I said, you know, okay. But he did his monologue, and out of the, you know, hundreds of actors we saw that day, he was the best. And I said, okay, well, let me bring him back in for a callback. Maybe I was, you know, I don't know, you know. But sure enough, he came back, and he was even better the second time. I was really excited to work with Fruit because he brings that authentic Detroit street voice, you know. I still got the work. You know, it's a good balance with Lawrence's character, who's a little more Detroit country day, a little more suburban. So, Forbidden Fruit, I think he's got a bright future. I'm really excited to see what else he's going to do next.
Gerard, I've been coming to this store for about 23 years now. And not one time has your daddy ever opened up the store this damn late.
The Winos, Mike Bonner, Bill Hill, and Martini Harris. Their characters are sort of similar to characters in Do the Right Thing. Robin Harris and his guys, they sit out front of the store and they comment about everybody coming and going. And I wanted to echo back to, you know, another generation of Detroiters, and those guys, you know, they're the Greek chorus for the film, and they have a lot of funny things to say. Mike Bonner plays the character of Cato, an ex-boxer who used to be a Kronk, you know, gym guy, and now his fighting days are behind us, and the beer's kind of taken over. Mike Bonner is somebody whose work I admired for years. I watched him on Comic View, and I ran into him in LA a few times, and I said, man, one day we're gonna work together, and that day came, you know, last summer, and Mike was great to have on set. Mike is really in tune with the Detroit's funny bone, you know, all the shows he does. I think, you know, he's a great advocate for the city, and, you know, he knows funny, and Mike brought it. Mike was great in the movie. Bill Hill, Mr. Bill Hill. Bill Hill plays Big Jim, and Big Jim is the leader of the Winos. You'll see his past. He used to be the numbers man, and what I love about Bill as a comedian is he always has a political edge to his humor, and I think he brought that with the character of Big Jim. So Bill Hill is somebody who I think we'll be seeing a lot of on both sides of the camera. Martini Harris plays Eddie, and Eddie is, you know, he's a former street guy, and Martini brought a lot of creativity to his character, from wardrobe to preparation to ad libs. I think he's going to surprise some people. I wasn't as familiar with his work as some of the other guys, but by the end of it, you know, I know that I'll definitely work with Martini again. Trick, Christian Mathis, the king of Detroit, the landlord. It was a lot of fun working with Trick. This is the second time we actually worked together. I produced a video for him in '99, I believe it was, when I was here for a summer. And, you know, one thing people don't know is Trick has a great sense of humor, and he's a real personable guy. And we brought a lot to the role of Thug, with the character he plays in the film. And I think people are going to be surprised by what he brought to the character. Judge Greg Mathis, well, you know, he's already a big advocate for the city of Detroit, and, you know, we wrote him into the script, you know, shortly in pre-production. We came up with a bid, and he said, wouldn't it be great to get Judge Mathis to do this? And we submitted the proposal to the proper people, and, you know, the judge said yes, and it was you know, we were really excited to get Judge Mathis. Also, his son, Amir Mathis, worked on the film. He's a film student and aspiring director, and it was great having him around as well. I'm very appreciative and very thankful for Judge Mathis for gracing us with the cameo. Wow, Shawnee D, you know, she brought a lot to the role of Mrs. Johnson. As scripted, you know, she was in a few scenes, but Shawnee made the character her own. You know, she would come to me with skits and bits and say, well, can I do this? And I say, sure, you know, let's try it out. She's Miss Johnson. She's the lady from the neighborhood, you know, picking up bottles and keeping an eye on everybody. You know, it takes a village, and her character is someone who's always looking out for the younger kids in the neighborhood, as well as chasing after her husband, Big Jim. Dwele, wow, you know, Dwele again, he was gracious enough to give us a cameo, and he came in, and I've been a big fan of his music for years. And you know, he was as cool in person as he is on the record. And he came in, you know, came in, did his thing, and he's part of the reason of why Gerard, our main character, has to work that day. But you have to see the film to see what I'm talking about. Trevion Williams, Trey, as we called him, played Mykell. And Mykell's character is meant to represent sort of your everyday kid in the hood in Detroit. You know, in addition to being an actor, Trey is also a rapper, and we put one of his songs, The Good Life, in the film. And Trey's a really, you know, great young man, and he had some acting experience from where he goes to high school out in West Bloomfield, and he's going to go on to big things. Tommy Hearns, you know, when we did this film, we were looking for some cameos that would be intrinsic, that would fit with the story. You know, we didn't want them to be too outrageous. And Tommy is somebody, you know, we all grew up being proud of. You know, Motor City Cobra, the Hitman. Tommy's our Nick Fury in the movie, so if you go see the movie, make sure you don't leave early. Over those credits, we got some other surprises for you, but Tommy Hearns is our Nick Fury, you know, and he comes in and really gives a great performance. So we assembled this great cast. We had all the roles picked out, but all we were missing was the most important role, Earl Jenkins, the father, the owner of the corner store. And, you know, we were scheduled to shoot this role in a couple of days, and I had nothing. I had no one who would agree to come here to Detroit and play this part. So the desperation really kicked in. I mean, you know, I'd work on the set all day, and then I'd spend that night brainstorming, you know, who we could call. And I started to think back, you know, if I can't get a Detroiter, who can I get that could bring this role alive? And on my short list, you know, #1 was Roger Guinevere Smith. You know, I admired his work in Do the Right Thing, American Gangster, Deep Cover, and I knew he could bring the humor as well as the seriousness that a character like Earl had to have. You know, the Donald Trump of the ghetto, you know, the Donald Trump of the hood, you know, an entrepreneur who owned a car wash, a dry cleaners, a video store until Blockbuster put him out of business. It came pretty close to the wire, and I think we got the right man for the job.
You know, it's really wonderful being here in Detroit, Michigan. It's one of my favorite places to be. Whenever I'm in the United States of America, there's no place that I'd rather be than Detroit, Michigan. Here we are at the community which is called 6 Mile, I believe, and it's really fantastic. There's a lot of different people here. It's a diverse community. We have your Asian people, we have your Middle Eastern types. Of course, we have your Black Americans as well. And it's really great being here amongst the African Americans.
Let's make a change.
I'm Carolyn Gant, reporting for Lights, Camera, Culture.